Fresh white? Oh, I love fresh white, man. I love.
So I've been riding up here on the Angeles Crest Highway, my backyard. Wanted to take a moment to do a long-term test review on this 2016 Tuono 1100 RR. Some of you guys may have seen my Street Triple long-term reviews. Well, I've sold the Street Triple and I've bought this Tuono with zero regrets. It was a hard decision because I really love that Street Triple. I put over 50,000 miles on it before I sold it. Wasn't sure if I was making a mistake or not, but it took about 20 yards before I realized I really think this may be the best street bike out on the market. Anyways, what I want to do is I want to touch upon some of the mods that I've done on the bike, and then I'll get to my thoughts and feelings and what it's like to live with this bike on a day-to-day basis. So the first thing let's establish is the mileage on the bike. Let's look and see. I've got 11,051 miles. I don't know if you can see that or not, but 11,051 miles as of today, March something, 2017. Anyways, all right, here comes the sound of a nice duck. Nice. Okay, so the biggest thing that I've done, I think the best mod I've done so far, would be these carbon fiber wheels. These are from Rotobox. These are Rotobox 2s. I think they really are the best mod I've ever done, and here are the reasons why. Number one, it really affected the handling. The bike flicks from left to right, almost like a 600. It affects the fuel economy, because I was getting 31 miles per gallon before, and now I'm getting 33 to 34. And that's under heavy throttle, heavy acceleration. Anyone who knows me and rides with me knows that I'm not shy with the throttle. And that's all calculated via Fuelie, not off of the onboard computer. It also affects the braking. My brakes feel like I've upgraded the calipers. It just takes less effort to stop the bike, and the bike slows down quicker. The suspension is improved. I've had to reset my suspension to accommodate the lighter wheels and the lighter unsprung weight. And once I got that dialed in, the bike just handles like a dream. It's super plush, and I really can't say enough about this upgrade. Now, I did go from the cast wheels originally to the forged aluminums that Aprilia offers on the RSV4 factory. That was a pretty big deal. The differences were pretty significant. Going from the forged to the carbon fiber was an order of magnitude that I was not prepared for, and I couldn't be any happier. I think it's the best way to spend money to affect all aspects of a motorcycle. Speaking of suspension, I've upgraded the rear sacks to an Ohlins. Essentially, it's the same factory Ohlins that you get on the 1100 factory bike. I think it's a great street shock. It's plush, it's controlled, it does what I need it to do. It's plenty great for the street, plenty great for the track. I don't know if you need to go to the TTX, and the reason why I did not go to the TTX is because the intervals for servicing are something like 10 hours, and who the hell is going to rebuild their shock after 10 hours of street use? It just doesn't make any sense to me, and I'm not that guy. So the sacks, it's a great shock. It performed wonderfully. It was just a little hard, a little stiff, not quite as compliant as the Ohlins, and I got a really smoking deal that I couldn't say no to on the Ohlins, so I did it. It's kind of a no-brainer. Definitely worth checking out if you guys have one of these bikes and you want to soften the rear, but yet still stay planted and controlled. As we move to the front, they are sacks, forks, but I've changed the cartridges, I'm sorry, not the cartridges, but the valves out to Andreani valves, and they come from Italy, and that's transformed the front of the bike as well. I've got, again, the same kind of thing that happened in the back. The front is more composed, it's plusher, there's more feedback, there's more feel, it's less stiff, yet completely controlled. The damping is fantastic. The springs are the same. I've kept them the same as the stock. I think they're 0.9s and 0.95s. Either way, I didn't feel like I had to do anything to the springs, front and rear. And for the record, I'm 140 pounds dripping wet, so I'm on the light side of things, and the stock springs and the stock rates are great for me. I've heard about the guys dropping in the Ohlins cartridges to 25s or the 30s, and I'm sure that's the next level. But for the street, which is what I do 95% of my riding, the Andreanis were great. Now, I had originally done the stock Graves, which is a much shorter can. I think it's somewhere in the 200 to 250 range, millimeters that is. and it made a hell of a great noise, great tone. It sounded like you had stuck a beehive full of angry wasps with a hot poker. It just sounded bitchin'. The issue I had with that pipe, and what I've heard with all the shorter stubby cans, is that a lean spot occurred around 4,000 RPM, which, you know, if you're on a racetrack and you're going to be rolling through the gears and you're going to be living at the top of the rev range, it's no big deal. But if you're riding this thing on the street and you're filtering through traffic, you're on the highway, or you're riding anywhere where there's, other humans, you're going to often find yourself right around that 4,000 mark on the tack, and it was surging. And what does that mean? That means that you're trying to hold it steady, and the bike's leaping forward and choking, and it's just annoying at best. So I called Graves up, and I talked to Chuck about the issue I was having. And by the way, I do have the race ECU that I got from AF1. So I spoke to Chuck, and he's like, "Yeah, the shorty cans, they sound great and they're great for the track, but for the street you need a little more back pressure. So let's get you a longer pipe." So he made me this longer pipe. It's 300 millimeters, which I think is a great compromise, and it's a 50 millimeter diameter versus the 55, which is on the stubby pipe. And it's all but eliminated the lean surge. There's still a little bit of it there, but I'm hoping to get I'm going to get the Gabro ECU in shortly. I've heard that will eliminate it completely. That's not coming in for another couple weeks, so maybe the next video I'll talk about that. But as far as this is concerned, the Graves pipe, it's super light, titanium, makes a hell of a great noise. It's not as raspy as the shorty pipe, but it's a little bassier and a little deeper, as one would expect for having a longer can on the back. So again, a great mod to these. And make sure that if you do get a can on your bike, to get the race ECU so that you don't run the whole thing lean and risk burning your valves. Excuse me, a little dry. I just smoked a cigar and I'm a little dry now. Anyways, okay, so what else have I done? Rizoma lights, front and rear. Motobox, fender eliminator. He makes a great product. It was super easy to install. Josh is a good guy. Give him a call. Support a local guy. He's in Southern California and also an Aprilia owner. So that's a good thing. Put a radiator guard and an oil cooler guard from Mandlebar Racing. You can find him on eBay. He's a really cool guy as well. I've had limited conversations with him, or contact with him. It's a quality product, and he'll custom paint whatever you need on it for a small price. I've got mine's gold, but it's kind of hard to tell because it's dirty and faded. But the money that you give him supports his racing career, so I'm always a fan of that. I got Lightech guards in the front here, whatever you call those damn things, bobbin, spool, whatever. Oh, R&G Frame Sliders. Haven't tested them out, but hopefully I never will. But I like these because they don't stick out like the pucks. So nothing really to grab if you're going to toss the bike down the road. Bonamici engine covers, both sides. Super high quality, super beefy, super lightweight. They fit great, really easy to put on, no issues whatsoever. Heated grips, I put the Oxfords on. Comes with a cool little controller over here. Seeing there's not an OEM option, these are great. Super easy install, pretty much plug and play. Super toasty, I never have to turn them up past 50%, and that's here in the Southern California winters, which if you're watching this from like Chicago or something, you're laughing, but really they're great, and I'm sure maybe you need to use them at 100%, but for the cold California winters, 50% is all I really need. Chinese eBay levers, laugh all you want. These are the fourth pair I've put on different bikes. They're great, they're beefy. They're not the $19 shit boxes that you get. These are like the $50 or $60 ones, and which are the only ones I'll ever buy. Half of them you're going to get OEM or aftermarket are going to come from China anyways. These are probably made in the same factory as all the other ones without the price. I've had no issues with them. They fit great. MRA windscreen. that's helped quite a bit. If you ride back to back with and without it, it does make a difference. It's not the prettiest thing on earth, but I could give a shit, really. I just wanted a little bit more wind protection, and that's what it does. And it's fully adjustable. You don't have to drill into the thing at all if you don't want. You can just clip them on with set screws, and that's what I've done. I also have got some light covers here that come on and off with some industrial Velcro. And I put those on basically for the winter because there's so many rocks and so much crap on the road. As you can see out here on the Angeles Crest, it gets pretty dusty in the winter and rocky. If we move around here to the handlebars, these are Rizoma MA10s. I had the original ones that came on the bike. They were cool. The only issue I had with them is that the sweep on them was a little unnatural for me, meaning or lack of sweep, which is the amount that they bend back towards you as you're riding. It was more of a flat thing. I didn't like them. I yanked those off. I put some Woodcraft 1.5-inch riser clip-ons on, and I rocked those for about 3 or 4 months. And they were fine, but the only issue I had with those, they did help with the really aggressive stuff when I'm really getting on the boil in the canyons, but I was running into clearance issues with going full lock with the front of the fairing here. So I decided just for shits and grins to go to a handlebar, and I found these. I like they're really flat, they're really low, and I like the sweep. They feel more natural to my hands. Mirrors, I've got these are from Kiwav, K-I-W-A-V. I have no idea if I'm saying that right, but they are cool. I had an issue with the first set I bought. They promptly dealt me a new set. Aside from the fact that they're adjustable every which way, if you need to take them off, it's just an Allen screw here, an Allen bolt, and they come off, and you're good to go. I think that's it as far as mods. Let's see. Oh, okay, so here's the thing. The gas cap. If you own one of these bikes and you go to fill your gas, you're going to end up with gas all over your fucking balls, all over the top of the bike. I don't know why. Well, actually, I do know why, but the issue is the filler hole is really, really small. And there's only a certain angle that you can come in on, and it just basically, gas goes everywhere, and you feel like a complete idiot. The only way to avoid it is if you barely let any gas in, and it takes you, it seems like an hour to fill your damn tank. So what I did is I yanked the cap off, and I went in there with a Dremel, bored out a much bigger hole. Now and I heard the hole was small so that you're not an idiot and stick a diesel nozzle in, which, I mean, look, if you're going to put fucking diesel in your gas can or in your bike, then you deserve to choke your bike. But I bored it out, made it much larger, and I've basically eliminated the overspill of the gasoline shooting out all over your balls when you're done. That's pretty much it as far as mods go. The largest issue and the biggest pain in the ass was I was having hot start issues, and at one point I went to turn the bike on, I put the key in, turned it into the on position, and the bike fired right up. Again, you throw the key in, flip it to the on position, the bike will fire right up. It completely eliminated the hot start issue, and it just started stronger than it ever has and ever will. So I took it to the dealer, and they found that the wiring loom, a big-ass cable that's going from the front from the ignition, and it piggybacks onto a bunch of other wires that are running down the frame out to the battery. The wiring loom was resting against the head of the engine. It means it's melting through and shorting the wires, and that's exactly what happened. Well, they replaced the wiring and rerouted it in a more of an American fashion and not an Italian fashion. And I haven't had any hot start issues since, and it eliminated the instant start feature on the bike, which maybe some people would love, but I didn't care much for it. So aside from the hot start issue and from that weird instant start issue, I haven't had any issues with the bike. Oh, here's something that did happen. I did hit, and in fact, if you notice here, let me see if I can get down here. My collector pipe is dented pretty badly. What happened is I hit a rock and severed my oil cooler line, which is right here. Again, I can't tell what you guys can see, but now I've got a steel braided one there. It's essentially a rubber hose with a steel braid jacket over the top, so it's still completely flexible, and hopefully with that steel braid it gives a little protection. Hopefully you'll never have to replace that line, but essentially a rock came in through here, severed that line, shot oil all over the back, also dented the shit out of my collector, and I'm lucky I did not eat shit that day because my rear tire it looked like a glazed donut, just dunked in oil. And yeah, I was on the crest up here, and I don't know how I kept the bike up, but I did, and I'm here to tell the tale. So this bike, man, it fucking rips, man. This engine is bitchin'. It's got torque for days. It's smooth. The bike handles like a dream. Some of you guys may recognize. Let's take a moment and birds and bikes. That's what you hear out here. Anyway, some of you guys may recognize my voice. I'm a motorcycle.com guest tester. I've done a few shootouts, and as a result of doing that gig and being a local on the mountain here and being up at Newcomb's pretty much 5 days a week, if not more, I've had the chance to ride a lot of great bikes, and I've had the opportunity to ride them here on the crest, which is a fantastic proving grounds for a motorcycle. And I can honestly say the 1100 here, this bike specifically, was the first bike that I rode that I went, fuck, I gotta have this bike. And I went out and dumped my street triple within 2 weeks and purchased this bike. It's made that much of an impression on me, and it's perfect for the style of riding that I do. And what is that style of riding? Well, I'm basically a canyon junkie. I love the track. I don't necessarily commute on this bike. I have a commuter for that. And really the main reason why is I wanted to keep the mileage low on this bike, and the fuel efficiency isn't as great as my Triumph. I've got another Triumph that I do commute with. But it's not that I couldn't, and not that I haven't. This is more of a switchblade bike, I think, in that you can do a nice sport tour with it. It's got ergonomics that are comfortable. They're aggressive when you need them to be, but yet they're not going to smoke your back out after 200 or 300 miles. It's got more engine than you need on the street. Super playful. It can ride docile if you need it to ride docile in, in like a school zone or something. But if you wanted to wick the throttle and get up and have fun, the chassis is super telepathic. It's I thought the Daytona chassis and the Street Triple chassis was, and maybe arguably is, one of the best middleweight chassis out on the market. But I think this betters it. It tells you everything you need to know when you're leaned over on the side, which is stupid important. I think the geometry of the bike is fantastic. I can aggressively and confidently throw this bike in any turn and know that I'm going to make it out the other side. And heck, isn't that what most of biking is all about, is knowing that you're going to make it to the other side and having full confidence in your bike. But I can truly say this is a world-class chassis. And if you're looking at this video, then you probably already know that and don't need me to tell you that at all. I'm about to do my first valve check in another 1,000 miles. That'll come up in about 2 weeks, maybe a week. And I'll do another video to let you know if they were tight or not. But this bike has been a dream. I don't regret it one iota. I highly recommend it to anyone that's looking for a fantastic, fun bike. The thing makes an awesome noise. It's renewed my interest and my love affair with motorcycling all over again, because it just gives me a shit-eating grin every time I get on the bike. And it's a wonderful time to be in motorcycling because there are so many great bikes out there, but this truly is a unique, special bike. And you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody who's ridden one at length and not had anything good to say about the bike. It's great for the track, great for the twisties, although it does get a little hot in traffic. So, and look, it's fucking 1100, right? It's going to get hot. If you're buying it just strictly for commuting, you're on the wrong bike. But if you're looking for something that you can commute and split lanes with and do a sport tour with, this is the bike to have. I couldn't be happier. I'll come back when I put another 10,000 miles on the bike, and I'll do another video to let you guys know if I've run into any issues or not. But so far, super solid. If you've got a good dealership near you, go support them, buy the bike. Keep Aprilia in business, because they really need to keep making bikes like this, and you're not going to regret it. All right, so leave any comments or questions below, and I'll do my best to get to you. I'm a pretty busy guy, but I'll try to make the time to answer them in a timely fashion. Appreciate you guys watching, and have fun, guys.